Hey guys, Tyler here from Empoleon's Empire. So today for you, I have a Disruption Toad deck. It's my deck list. I've been playing it on PTCGO, and last I checked, I had 30 wins out of 34 games played, and I think those 4 games were just like I just kind of I got those PTCGO hands and just drew terrible. But the other times I disrupt my opponent enough to where they either scooped or I disrupted them enough to where they couldn't come back, and I just kept quaking punching. So to start off, like in any Toad deck that I've played except for Toad Bats, I have 4 Seismitoad. He's the main attacker, so you're going to max him out. He's your preferred starter, really your only starter. And then the other 2 Pokemon that you play are just 2 Shaymin. This is pretty much Toad Shaymin. That was what Jason Klaczynski played. You just, being since Trump card is in format, you don't play the 4 Shaymin to draw through everything. So, those are the Pokemon, so 4 Toad and 2 Shaymin. Next are stadiums. You have 3 Silent Lab. Silent Lab is a great card. It's once you Shaymin and set up, you can play it down and you stop your opponent from using Shaymins. It's great, especially with comboed later cards. I was playing 4 Silent Lab, but then I came to realize that Team Aqua's base is a great card in this deck. Even though it makes your Toads retreat cost 4 or your Shaymins retreat cost 2. When you Lysandre up something, you're just going to keep quaking punching, and you play items to pick everything back up. So Team Aqua base doesn't hurt you as much as it can your opponent. Like if you Lysandre up a non-float-stoated Vileplume for some reason, or a Shaymin, it's great. I had Silent Lab out, and then I Team Aqua base, and then I Lysandred out a Shaymin, and he couldn't retreat, so he decked. And then these were just the ones that were sleeved up, so I just grabbed them. You play 4 Sycamore. I have the Junipers here. You play 4 Sycamore. It's just your standard draw support. It's great. Next, you play 2 Lysandre. Like I said, the Lysandre Aqua base combo works really well. Your 1 of supporters, you play 1 Xerosic to get rid of the special energy and in the mirror, as well as against Toad Tina. You play 1 Skyla just to search things out turn 1. It's very good. Then you play 1 Giovanni scheme just so you can do the plus 20 if you need to get a knockout on something. I've had a turn where I quaking punch for 50, and then I do the play where next turn I Lysandre out a Shaymin, quaking punch for 50 after I put down the Team Aqua base, and then next turn I VS Seeker Giovanni's to knock it out. 1 Team Flare Grunt just to get rid of opposing energy. 1 Judge because it's a disruption card. It can put your opponent to 4 off of a good hand turn 1. 1 Cassius just to shuffle back in a Pokemon that you don't want on the field anymore, such as Shaymin. I have Cassius to Shaymin back into the deck and then Ultra Ball for it. And then 1 Delinquent. Delinquent is a great card because turn 1, if you go second and you have Delinquent in your hand, if they put down a stadium, you go. It works in combos. You go red card, Delinquent, get rid of their stadium, and then you play your stadium, so it sets them back a lot, actually. I've had that happen in a lot of the games that I've played. Next is 4 VS Seeker. VS Seeker is the great standard card. You play it because it's one of the best, it's the best card. Next, you play 4 Trainer's Mail. Trainer's Mail is to search through and grab anything. It helps you draw, it helps everything go well. Next, for the Disruption, you play 4 Crushing Hammer. You can get rid of your opponent's energy. Turn 1, it's very good. It works well. Next, for even more disruption, You play 4 red card. Red card is good. Turn 1, you're guaranteed to get it most of the time. I get it a majority of the time, a lot of the time. It's a great card. It disrupts your opponent amazingly. Putting them to 4 is just a great thing, especially with the Delinquent combo like I was saying earlier. And then you play 4 Super Scoop Up. Super Scoop Up is to pick everything up that you need. You can reuse Shaymins, you can do everything. You can pick up a Pokemon that's about to die. I've had Toads with 170 on it. Super Scoop Up heads. Okay, bring up another Toad, attach the DCE and the Muscle Band. Next, you play 3 Ultra Ball. You only need 3 because you probably are going to draw into everything off the Trainer's Mail, Shaymin use, everything. Next is 3 Muscle Bands, so you can Quaking Punch and Quaking Punch for more and more damage. Pretty self-explanatory. Then you play 2 Headringer. Headringer is another great disruption. Part of the combo that I said earlier, I Lysandred up a Shaymin, Aqua base, Headringer, so that way I couldn't Sky Return and Quaking Punch. And then next turn at Giovanni's. Next, 1 Enhanced Hammer is just to get rid of opposing specials. And then I play 1 Megaphone just for things like Burst Balloon or anything like that, if they can get it down turn 1, or any tools that they have turn 1 that can benefit them their turn 2, I can get rid of, and it's all able to be drawed with Trainer's Mail, or all the disruption cards are just incredible for, they all work well with each other, they all serve a purpose for the deck, and it's just incredible how it all works. Next, 4 Double Colorless, so that way you can swing with Seismitoad and Shaymin if you need to. Everything's colorless, and then you play 3 water. Seismitoad can Grenade Hammer for 2 water and a colorless, so you can get this combo and it works, and it serves the 2 colorless purpose if you have to manually attach. If I had to change anything about this list, one thing that I would change so that way it can fit the, it has great matchups all around. The only thing that has a weird time against is either Jolteon, which you can get around Lysandering and stuff, or Super Scoop Upping, you know, they get rid, you can't get the damage, or you do the whole red card thing and disrupt them. But what I would do, like as in for Vileplume Vespiquen, it's really hard to say, but there's a lot of cards in here that serve a great purpose. But one thing that I would do is, like Alex Koth did, I think that's how you say his name, with Groudon, and a lot of other players did with Groudon, I would take out 1 Water Energy and put in a Psychic Energy, and then I would take out 1 other card and put in a Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet is a great card in Standard, and it's good because normally this has a tough time against Vileplume Vespiquen, because if they go first and get the turn 1 lock, then it's tough because you can't play your items to disrupt them. But if you go first and you red card and get everything you need, then it's kind of hard for them to come back. But the Wobbuffet works because with the Wobbuffet, it shuts off the abilities that allow you to not play items, so you can get through Vileplume and you can play your items still. And against cards like Mega Mewtwo, the 1 Psychic Energy works because Grenade Hammer counts as 1 colorless and 2 water. So if you have 2 water on a Toad, that colorless can still serve as the Psychic or the DCE or whatever, and the first cost for its attack costs anything, so the Psychic still works for this, and it works well with Psychic Assault because you can still swing with Wobbuffet. And it's only for certain matchups like Vileplume Vespiquen. Other matchups you can just throw it away, but it's also good, you know, if you red card and they don't, if you go first and then you red card and do the whole Delinquent combo, set out your Silent Lab, and then you Super Scoop Up into Wobbuffet, so that way in case they get rid of your Stadium, they have to have 2 outs. They have to have the Lysandre and they have to have the Stadium. Like Stadium to counter your Silent Lab, and then the Lysandre to counter your Wob. But one thing I like about it is if I have a Seismitoad with a DCE and a Muscle Band, if I Quaking Punch for 50, I'm doing 50 damage to Mega Mewtwo. Mega Mewtwo is a great card in Standard, but if I Quaking Punch, if I feel comfortable enough to break the lock, I can come up with Wobbuffet. Let's say Wobbuffet has a DCE on it. I can go and attach the one Psychic Energy, attach a Muscle Band, and right there, I'm hitting 50 damage, plus the 10, so 60, plus the Muscle Band, which puts it to 80, plus the weakness, which is 160, plus the 50 that's already on from my previous Quaking Punch. That puts Mega Mewtwo to 210 HP, which knocks it out. And usually, Seismitoad can deal with it because of the energy disruption and the energy hate, but sometimes when they set up a Mega Mewtwo, and if you flip tails on hammers and all that, then it's hard, but if you feel comfortable enough to break the lock, then you have that option there. And honestly, changing a water for a colorless, changing a water for a psychic doesn't really hurt unless you intend to grenade hammer and you have to discard energy. But the other card to discard, that's preference. I'm still not sure what I would discard, but it's overall just, it doesn't hurt the deck really, and it's still another counter. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll have more videos up soon. We're going to be getting custom mats come Arizona States. Let's say Empoleon's Empire, so they'll be in the video. But for now, thanks for watching, guys, and if you decide to play this for States, it's a lot of fun. It's very straightforward, but at the same time, you got to think about certain plays. But aside from that, thanks for watching, guys, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe again, and yeah, have a good night.